Hi, my name is Dan Carvalho, and I'm here to talk about some exciting technology that comes all the way from Japan. Like most people out there, I actually believed that water was just water. As long as it was clean, I got it. I knew about tap water many years ago, but as long as it was clean, it's all water is the same. What I've learned, cannot be anywhere close to the truth. And this technology that I'm going to share about today is been around since the late 1800s. Okay, the Japanese actually researched the longest living people on the planet, which live in the Hansa Valley. On average, they live about 120 years or so. And they were wondering why these people live longer than anywhere else on the planet. Of course, in the 1800s, the environment was pristine. There was no such thing as non-organic food because it was just called food. But the one thing that was different was this water that they called their glacier milk. And they're like, why is your water cloudy? And they're like, yeah, that's our glacier milk. That's what we drink. And the Japanese scientists actually studied the water, and they found that the water had three special properties. It was A, very alkaline. B, it had charge, so it was alive. And three, or C, the water was restructured where it was very absorbable. So the Japanese went back and they reverse engineered that water, and it took them roughly 70 years to perfect it. And in 1965, this technology was born, and they started using it in their hospitals as a treatment. Now, this is going to be my personal disclaimer for today. This water does not heal, does not treat, does not diagnose anything. All I'm here to share is some information of what I've learned, but you do your own digging, you do your own research, you learn about it, but this has impacted my family and my life dramatically. All right, so these two are the flagship models that Enagic is the manufacturer. They're made 100% in Japan, OEM'd. And for those that don't understand what OEM actually means, is the company only buys raw material. Something as simple as this hose is made in-house. The reason they do this, because the Japanese medical system, which by the way approves these to be used in their hospitals, hundreds and hundreds of hospitals in Japan use these machines. Their medical system is so strict that Enagic does not want to take any chances by buying materials that come from a poor source that will affect their ISO rating for that purpose. Okay, so what I'm going to share today is actually going to blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind. I was pretty in tune with health and wellness. I actually at one point, about 11, almost 12 years ago now, I had aspirations to go into naturopathic medicine. When I realized the amount of school that was going to require, I decided to educate myself and pass on. So I found that I was pretty knowledgeable in the health and wellness space, but yet I never heard of this technology. I didn't know that this was even possible. What I've come to learn now is that Hansa Valley is not the only place. There are actually 8 springs in the world that the water comes out naturally like this. And all of those places happen to be in blue zones. And I'm just gonna, I don't wanna take up too much time here, but blue zones are places on Earth where people happen to live 100 years plus more than all other places on the planet. So that might be a coincidence, but I don't think so. So, how this machine works. First, there's a filter component. Okay, the water, it cleans. I used to really talk a lot about tap water and all the contaminants and all. If you still believe tap water is safe, then this video probably is not for you. Okay, so we're already beyond that. But so the machine filters, and by the way, this is not a filter, this has a filter. This is a medical grade ionizer. So once the machine filters, inside, there are 8 medical grade titanium plates double dipped in medical grade platinum. okay? And when the water's going through, it gets charged and it creates all these special properties, okay? So you are gonna see some stuff here that blew my mind when I first saw it. I didn't think this was even possible. So buckle down. All right, so the first property, actually even before I get to that, what percentage of our body is actually made up of water? Most people, would know about 70 to 75%. I used to be focused on my diet, on my supplements, on all this stuff, but I was ignoring the largest part of my ecosystem, which is water. And the company's sub-slogan, actually, it doesn't even have it on this bottle here, but it's change your water, change your life. Because if we can adjust what's going on in here with our water, I'll give you a quick analogy, an aquarium. If the fish are sick in an aquarium, what do? You change the water. You don't give medicine to the fish. So this is something that we do. We change our water. And so 70% is huge, and I was ignoring the biggest portion of it. So now we're gonna focus on what I'm here to talk about, which are the properties of this water. And I'm actually gonna share, the machine makes 5 different types of water on top of that. So first I'm gonna share the drinking water, and then there's other waters that you'll learn about. So let's get right into it. The first property that I like to talk about is its antioxidant potential, okay? Water normally cannot be an antioxidant. We've all heard of the term antioxidant or oxidation versus antioxidation. I'll give you an example. If you cut an apple and you leave it on the counter, what happens to the apple? It turns brown. It literally turns brown. So the same thing happens with us. It just doesn't happen like that. It's called aging. So my goal, and it should be your goal, is to slow down the aging process as much as possible and be able to age well so you can still be active. Because what's the point of living long if you're bedridden? And one of the things that we really got to focus on is we all cross the health toll bridge sooner or later. How much you pay and how quickly you get there is completely up to you. So what I do, everything I can do in my power, there's stuff that can happen. Of course, we could be going for a walk and get hit by a truck. Yeah, it happens, okay? But anything that I have control of, I do to extend my quality of life as much as possible. So the first property is this antioxidant, blueberries, right? Antioxidant, green tea. We've heard of all these terms. So it just reverses oxidation. So what I have here is an ORP meter, okay? And what that stands for is a meter that has the potential to show whether the liquid that we're testing reduces oxidation or oxidizes you further, accelerating the aging process, or what I call rusting you from the inside. So we're gonna have some very popular liquid brands here, water brands, and some other drinks. We got Aquafina, which is owned by Pepsi, and its big competitor, I guess, is Dasani. So I just use one. Okay. Then we have here, for our fancy folks, we got Flow. Yeah. Flow water. Then we have Fiji water. All right. Then we got carbonated water. I got Perrier. Oh, it's very weak Perrier there. Okay. Then we have enhanced water, athletic water, which is Gatorade. Well, this is okay. And then good old 7-Up or any type of pop. All right. And then of course, what I have here, oh, by the way, I didn't even introduce this. The water that Magic Machines produce is called Kangen water, which is a Japanese word that means back to origin. And you might be hearing me throughout the presentation talk about Kangen water. So when I mention Kangen water, it's this water right here. So we're gonna pour that bad boy in there as well. Okay. All right, so let's start with the Aquafina. So right now the air is oxidizing, obviously. Again, talking about the example with the apple. So let's see what Aquafina is at. So right now, if you look clearly, it's at positive 243. So what that means, when it's a positive, if there's no dash in front, it's a positive, that's oxidizing. That's accelerating the rusting process, or actually accelerating the aging process. These ORP meters are normally sold to people who have those fancy saltwater aquariums to measure the water. Guess what happens to the fish if the water is above 200, positive 200? Yeah, you probably guessed it. They die. Same thing are happening with our fish, which are our trillions of cells. So this right now is actually positive 294, okay? Super oxidizing. Let's check out Flow, the expensive brand, okay? Positive 313. So even more oxidizing than Aquafina. Let's check out Fiji water, okay? Again, positive 300. I'm gonna tell you, Aquafina is actually good water. Sorry, Aquafina, Fiji. This is like, we're going live here. There's no editing on this. So Fiji is actually good water. You know where? In Fiji. But after it's been sitting in this bottle for almost a year, by the time it gets to the consumer, we get a nice bonus called vitamin P. And for those that don't know what that is, those are microplastics. In Canada, and this is going to be shown all over the world, but in Canada, we are consuming an average of a credit card's worth of plastic per month. That's scary, because what does our body do with that? Nobody really knows. So microplastics, that's just a bonus, okay? Now let's check out Perrier. 368, even more oxidizing. For those people who still like to drink carbonated drinks, what do we breathe in? Oxygen, right? What do we breathe out? Carbon dioxide. What do you think they use to carbonate this? Carbon dioxide, okay? So it's a waste product that you're putting back into your body. And I'm preaching to myself, because I used to drink 2 liters of this a day, to the point where I actually bought my own machine at home to make it because I was spending a fortune. But yeah, when I learned that, I was like, I guess one of the things that you're gonna learn is you don't know what you don't know. Sometimes you don't even know that you don't know. So here we are. This is why I love these education sessions. I share what I've learned, and you know, the rest of the ball's in your court after, okay? Now let's check out the enhanced water for athletes. Positive 410. Okay, but it's full of electrolytes. But what they're not telling you is they're full of sugar, or this version here is actually artificial sweeteners, which you pick your poison, basically, okay? And then we got 7. And that one there is a positive 415. So the most oxidative one that we have here on the list. Some tap waters, actually, I've seen as high as positive 700. I'm on a well, so we can't test that here, but take my word for it. I'll make another video, maybe from somewhere in Toronto, to show the tap water. But yeah, so this over here should be, knowing what I know, should be illegal. The sugar and the carbonation together are literally a poisonous combination. Okay, so now the last one is the Kangen water. Let's see what this one's at. What's happening? It's dropping dramatically. What's it at right now? Minus 714. So you got oxidizing, rusting, breaking down tissues, adding aging, all that stuff here. Antioxidizing, vitality, health, energy. Because this water is alive. Okay, so going back to when all waters are the same, this water is completely different because it's anti-rusting components, anti-aging components. It's unique, and this is the most unique feature of this technology, is this ability to do this. Nothing else can do it other than this machine and the 8 springs that exist throughout the world. So if you're gonna remember one thing, actually there's 2 things I really want you to remember, but the first thing I need you to really capture is the negative charge that comes with this water is the most unique property, and you cannot replicate out there. It's the most powerful property. I'll give you one quick example, so because I'm on my director's telling me that I gotta speed things up. So blueberries are known as a superfood. They're known as a very powerful antioxidant. You would need 5 pounds of fresh blueberries to get the equivalent antioxidant potential of drinking just 1 glass of this water. Okay, there you go. Now I will move on to the next property, which was my favorite. It's alkalinity. And the second thing I really want you to frame and remember is there's a big difference between alkaline water and alkalizing water. And I'm going to showcase here that right now. And a lot of people think that alkaline water is actually really healthy for you, where the reality is it has 0 alkalizing effect in the body. So I'm going to share here some of the pHs. I have a chart here. I'm probably going to put one up also on the screen after when we do our fancy editing. But anything in the greens, the green is neutral, dark greens, yellows, and oranges are very acidic. Acidity, breaking down of tissue, just again, nasty stuff. Anything in the blue and the purples is alkaline. All right, so what I have here are pH drops. And if anybody owns a pool, you test your pH, your pool pH with these drops. So we're gonna put these in. So, pop. Acid, super acidic. You get the combination, again, of the carbon dioxide and the sugar. Gatorade. Yeah, good for athletes. Don't think so. Perrier. Once again, very acidic. Then you got, Fiji. Slightly alkaline. But remember how oxidizing it was. Remember, it was in the positive 3 pluses. Super oxidizing. Okay? And these 2 waters are sold as alkaline water, right? Alkaline spring water. They're both alkaline spring water. But alkaline spring water, or any alkaline water, you can technically add baking soda to water and make it alkaline, but it does not have an alkalizing effect, because for water to have an alkalizing effect, you need organic minerals. And these 2 right here have inorganic minerals, which have 0 alkalizing potential, okay? Then we got Aquafina, back to acid, and then beautiful 9.5 pH alkalizing water. Okay, not just alkaline, alkalizing. And how it's alkalizing is once the water goes through the system, the minerals that exist in the water get charged and become or replicate organic minerals that you would get in your fresh fruits and vegetables. So this water here actually becomes almost a mineral supplement. Well, not even almost, literally does. So it has a very alkalizing effect. And why do we want to be alkaline? Why do we want our body to be alkaline? There's this guy right here, and I'll probably put up on the screen. Dr. Otto Warburg won a Nobel Prize for discovering what? That cancerous tissues are acidic, whereas healthy tissues are alkaline. No sickness or disease can live in an alkaline environment. So we need to really focus on getting ourselves into that alkaline state. Okay? And it happens. Sometimes by poor diet choices or stress, we, put some acid in our body. Stress actually releases a chemical called cortisol. Not to get too super scientific here, but cortisol is nothing more than pure acid. So when they say stress kills, it literally kills. So sometimes I'm driving down the highway, get cut off. Of course, cortisol levels go up, everything goes out of whack. Before, my body would have to adjust itself by this thing that it does called catabolism. It actually strips minerals from bones and tissue to raise the pH. So before, that's what I had to do. Now, I have a tool. So if I have a stressful event, stressful day, or if I decide to have a cheat day on my diet, I'll just add a little bit of Kangen water and start changing my body's chemistry right away. Boom. Boom. Now check out, for our friends who love carbonated drinks, check out Perrier. Oh. The carbonation is so acidic that even putting in alkalizing water, it gets destroyed. You need, I don't know the exact number, but about 30 liters of this to combat 1 liter of carbonated beverages. Crazy. Let's check out the Gatorade. No change. The sugar, so acidic. If you have kids, keep your kids away from these beverages, whatever you do. If that's all you get out of today, keep your kids away from these beverages, okay? Now, again, no change. There's so much acidity in there. 1 pop actually removes 4 tablespoons of calcium from your bones. So that is, and I'm muscling through this quickly, that is the second property. So the first property again, antioxidant potential. We need all that voltage in our body because for health. Second property is the alkalizing effect. And the third property, I'm not gonna say it's the least important, but it's the property that affects the absorption. So this machine, once it goes through the plates, the water gets structured in a way where it's 5 times more absorbable. It actually has a 95% absorption rate on a cellular level. So before, I would literally struggle to drink 2 liters of water, because we've all heard we need to drink 2 liters of water a day. I would literally struggle to drink 2 liters because I felt bloated. With this water, I can drink, and never feel bloated. What I've learned is because the water, we use a descriptive term called microclustering. The water actually goes into the cells at a very high rate. And just picture this. If I grabbed a handful of rocks and I throw it through a chain link fence, some rocks are gonna go through, some are gonna hit the fence. Imagine you grab now a handful of sand and you do it through the chain link fence. What's gonna happen? Most of it's gonna go through. So when you're drinking this water, it has that effect in the body. So what I have here, I'm just gonna move these things out of the way a little. I'm gonna make some tea. And normally, what do we do to water to make tea? Well, we gotta boil it, right? Two reasons. Well, first, if I drink tea, I actually like hot tea. But secondly, you need to give the water energy to extract the tea from the leaves. So what I have here is I got some, to keep it all in theme, I got some Yamamoto Yama, Japanese green tea. And just to show you, it's a sealed package. And I'm gonna open this bad boy up. And we're gonna make some tea. So where's my, here's my trusty Aquafina. We're gonna pour some water in there. And as you can see, I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but not much is happening, okay? Of course, the water's cold. Now we're gonna go here, and I'm gonna get my 9.5 water, pour it in, and what happens? Instantly, it brews tea. So if you actually like to drink cold tea, you can literally just pop your tea bag in, and boom. And what this is showing is how the body absorbs this water. The second it touches your lips, it starts hitting your bloodstream, your brain. You get hydration everywhere. It's so crazy, because with the first two properties, if you couldn't deliver it, then they would be useless. But you got the first two properties, and now the delivery mechanism, it puts the three together as a perfect package, okay? Now, some people are gonna say, well, wait a minute, you already had the tea bag wet, so it was cheating. Well, let's go back to the Aquafina again, okay? And we're back to Aquafina, back to not making any tea. And one skeptical person wants to say, well, wait a minute, well, you already took all the tea out. So let's go one more time for our skeptics. And by the way, I was one, so no problem. Here you go. More tea. You could just keep on making tea. Even the little tea that would be in here, because the water has so much energy, it would actually start extracting it. Okay. So yeah, this water is completely unique. It's dramatic what it does, and I hope that when you see this, that you don't think it's a ridiculous idea to invest in something like this for your family. Okay? So that's the drinking water. Now, like I said earlier, the machine makes 5 types of water. I'm just gonna wipe this down here quickly, because one of the waters is what I call the bonus water. It's, we call it beauty water, okay? So beauty water is 5.5 to 6 pH water, which is the same pH as our skin and hair. So for anybody who buys toner, facial toner, you just do that, and it's amazing absorption, amazing for toning your skin. And actually your skin needs to be at that pH. So sometimes if we're a little off, every time I come out of the shower, I spray myself with beauty water. I would not buy this machine for beauty water, but since I have it, I might as well use it. Now, the other thing is though, a lot of people out there, and this might be you, want to start reducing your chemical footprint. Well, one of the features of beauty water, it actually is really good for cleaning glass and stainless steel. So you can start eliminating some of the chemicals from your house. It's also great for washing hardwood floors, beauty water. And the last property about beauty water, and I promise I'm done, it's amazing for your plants. You feed beauty water to the plants, they just explode. I have my own garden here at home, and my tomato plants last year were over 8 feet tall. So be gentle with the beauty water unless you want gigantic tomato trees, okay? That's what they came out to be. So beauty water, bonus water, fantastic. Now, the second most important water, or third, depends on how you prioritize, is the 2.5 pH water this machine produces, okay? 2.5 is actually scientifically known as hypochlorous acid, or HOCl. And HOCl is the most powerful antimicrobial, antifungal, and antiviral that exists on planet Earth, okay? So this 2.5 that we call it, the hypochlorous acid, is in Japan actually used for treatment. They use it for wound care. They use it for stuff like MRSA, staph, diabetic sores, anything that we get amputated for in North America. In Japan, they treat with this water. But something at home, you could just, cooking chicken, you just spray your counter and it disinfects the counter. Okay, we've just gone through a bit of a time the last couple of years where people were struggling to find hand sanitizer at one point. With me, I just push the button on my machine. 30 seconds. They haven't found a virus, a bug that this doesn't kill in 30 seconds. And it's actually FDA approved, by the way. And it's so safe, you can't smell it right now, but it literally smells like bleach. It's actually 100 times stronger than bleach, but it's so safe that you can drink it. Doesn't taste fantastic, but if you need to disinfect anything, completely safe. Amazing product. It's worth the price of the machine to have this at home because it literally can save your life. The 11.5 pH water. Okay, 11.5 pH is we call strong Kangen water. This here is water that's used as a degreaser. Okay, so anywhere in the house that you would need, like cleaning the stove, cleaning your fan, anywhere you would use a degreaser, you use this water. I actually do my laundry with this water. Instead of putting laundry soap or laundry detergent, I put 2 liters of this water in my machine and the clothes come out beautiful, okay? So that's one of the uses, but the most important use for the 11.5 is cleaning your fruits and vegetables. Now, once you see this, you're gonna have a hard time eating stuff that's not clean. Because what I realized, what I didn't know, is that pesticides are oil-based. And it makes total sense for them to be oil-based because if they weren't, every time it rained or every time the farmer irrigated, they would wash away. So how do you wash produce that has oil-based pesticides in your tap, under your sink? It doesn't work. And I'm gonna show you something here. So, I'm gonna wash some tomatoes. These are our cherry tomatoes from Canada. All right. We're gonna pour some tomatoes in here. Gonna pour some tomatoes in here. Okay. I always promise people lunch. Well, here you go. And we're gonna use our Aquafina since we opened it already. Let's put that bad boy there. Let that clean. And what I'm gonna have here is the strong alkaline water. Okay? Just to show you that it's just water. Background. Good pour. It's almost like I've done this a few times. Okay? And to illustrate what's happening here, I have 2 little cups. And I got some pure sesame oil. Where's this one from? Oh, from Japan as well. Keep it all on theme. Okay? We're gonna prove my grade 9 science teacher right, because they teach that oil and water don't mix. So I'm going back to my Aquafina, completely separates. Now let's go to my 11.5. There you go. Completely emulsifies the oil, breaks it down. This is why you can do your laundry. This is why you can clean your stove with it. Anywhere you would use a degreaser, and most importantly, this is why you clean your produce with it. What we do is we don't just clean it like this. We fill a bowl with all our food and we let it sit in there for 15, 20 minutes sometimes, because I want to make sure that the food I'm eating is perfectly clean. And the other thing, it actually changes the flavor dynamic of the food. It makes it come back to almost a garden fresh tomato or whatever you're eating. So, back a little bit. It's my first demo. So let's check out the Aquafina tomatoes. Water in, water out. Let's check out the Kangen tomatoes. What's in here that's not in here? Try to do this. What's in this glass that's not in this glass? All your herbicides, your pesticides. I like to joke sometimes, your homicides and suicides as well. So when I saw this, I had a really hard time feeding anything to my kids and my family that wasn't cleaned in this water. Even to this day, going to a restaurant, sometimes it bothers me if I know that they don't have a Kangen machine there to clean their produce. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation. And one question you gotta ask yourself is it a crazy idea for you to have this access to this water? Is it ridiculous of you to want this water? And to have the healthiest water and have confidence in the water you drink and even the food you eat that is as clean as possible. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, you can click the link below and book an appointment with one of our water experts, and they'll be able to guide you through it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you on the other side of health.